Namaste, everyone. Welcome to Awaken, Living with Consciousness. This is a social media platform that features awakened teachers, masters, and awakened souls living in our midst. They will be sharing their stories, their awakening process, their life work, their spiritual mission, and most importantly, their insightful and valuable lessons that they have learned along the way. My name is Seracarpio, and I am a divine soul connector. My intention is to connect all those seeking guidance, healing, growth, transformation, and connect you to those people who may assist you in your journey. I hope that through this show, you'll be able to recognize or remember the people or the souls who will be assisting you in your process. Today, we have a very special guest. She is a teacher of Reiki teachers here in the Philippines. She is belovedly known as Teacher Isa, or Reiki Master Isa, Miss Lilian Hewlett. She's also a Daoist medicine practitioner and Feng Shui consultant. So thank you, Miss Lilian, for gracing our show and inspiring us. Welcome.
Hello to everyone, and thank you, May, for having me here.
Thank you, Miss Isa. It's such a privilege. Giving us this opportunity to share your story and your mission with us and to other people. Miss Isa, what is Reiki healing and what is Daoist medicine practice? Can you share a bit to us for those who hasn't been able to know or hear these words?
Yeah. First, I would like to define what I do. I do 3 levels of healing or work. No? So the first one is really for the human level, which means healing, teaching human how to heal others and also heal themselves. And also I also do some earth work, and the earth work, which means healing the place where we live, and that is where my Feng Shui practice goes to. No? And then I work with the heavenly divine spirit beings, and that's why I work with the angels. So the Reiki goes with the heavenly work because the Reiki is a kind of healing and a spiritual practice that involves healing yourself and healing others. So the concept is we channel the divine energy coming from the divine God, and whatever name na pwede nating itawag to God, no? So we channel the divine energy to heal ourselves and to also heal others. So healing can take in many forms, like it can be a meditation practice in which we practice different kinds of Reiki meditation, and then hands-on healing. The hands-on healing can be for you and for oneself, for others and for oneself.
Okay.
And then the Taoist medicine also goes into that level of healing. So we believe in that there is a heavenly healing, there is an earth healing, and there's a human healing. And those are the 3 kinds of medicine. So for the heavenly, there are really different kinds of conditions that cannot really be healed through the human way. That means you cannot just take a medicine and heal or cure a certain illness. So we do that with the heavenly way. So our acupuncture is really different. So we use prayers, we use rituals also, or incantation. Incantation and prayers are also the same to do the acupuncture. It's really an intuitive way because we really feel the energy and the different techniques of how to do the acupuncture. We also use the itching to know what way, how we can really treat the person. And then the Taoist practice also involves the Feng Shui itself, and that belongs to the earth healing. So some of the sickness really comes from the place where we live in, the arrangement of the place, the energy of the place. And of course, for the Taoist medicine, it also goes with the human level. It involves how you think, how you feel. So essentially, the Taoist medicine really comprises all the different levels of how a medicine should be.
So that's very interesting, Miss Isa, as you mentioned that interesting strategy or interesting system of seeing healing in different dimensions. As you mentioned, there is the human level, and there is the earth healing, and then there is the heavenly healing. And
Yeah.
and so what you just said is it seemed to be like a different factors merged into one, and they have like different approaches in everything. But actually, how you explained it to us is more of like they're all really integrated. Is that
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
Who can you say like would benefit from like this kind of healing? For example, right now, like the number of people having cancers are growing, and if a person who has no means, well, let's just say if a person recently is diagnosed with that, but is seeking like alternative ways of healing. How can we put into these different levels of
Yeah. At first, of course, when the person comes to me for healing, I will have to really see first on the energy level. So the energy level will have different levels. So the energy level can be the spiritual or the heavenly level. So through the Taoist practice, I can really see if the cancer really comes from the karma, or it can really come from, which can be a spiritual or as transference of energy coming from the family, or you can really see if it really comes from the physical level. So you can really see that on the different levels. So when the person comes to me, I do the intuitive way first. No? So the inner guidance, the spiritual guidance on how to really see the person. And then after that, we apply the physical healing. So the physical healing can really be the acupuncture, or it can be a lifestyle change, or an emotional change of a person, mental state, and or the Reiki itself. The Reiki can really heal it. And after that, I can really see also, check if we have already done everything there. I can also see and ask the person if they would like me to visit their place. Because in the intuitive guidance, you can already see if the place where the people lives also affects the person who has the cancer. Yeah, so let's say I have a client who was really undergoing chemotherapy, and I really did the spiritual healing through Reiki, and then of course some kind of lifestyle change, healing of the emotions, and we also did the space clearing and feng shui for the place. So she was really doing the chemotherapy, and during that time no one notices that she's doing it, because she was just feeling like a normal person, as if she's not really sick. And wow, it's really amazing how the spiritual energy and how these things work. Now, and she's free of cancer now.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's, to confirm to that, I've also read studies saying that there are new research right now saying that the person who's sick, for example, of cancer, one of the best things that they can do is like get out of the environment that caused it. So like
Yeah.
so that's a very interesting take in the sense that people forget to alter, to see the environment as a factor of their condition and their well-being and their illness.
Yeah.
It seems like the intuitive guidance is very integral part of your healing process. Were you like were you born like already intuitive, and or what was the process of getting into that? What is
Yeah.
your process? Yes. Can you
Yeah.
share?
Yes. I was already a meditator. I was already meditating when I was 8 years old. So my sister taught it to me. And I have no idea of not being in this magical or intuitive world because I grew up with it. No? So I always thought that I will be doing something for the world. So, and I grew up with it as is a natural thing. So when I was 12 years old, before 12, I was already doing some hypnotic regression to some people, to my cousins, and I I have read the Old New Testament. I have read different books, and I just thought that this is something very natural. I was already a dreamer also. So whatever I dream, it happens. I will dream of different saints, Mother Mary, and I also would like to be a saint. So that is the thing that I was really dreaming of, to be one, just to serve, and to serve our Creator, our God. So, but when I was already in high school, that's when I realized that not everyone was really seeing. So I just really have to keep to myself. But I grew up very differently. So because I know that some of the things are not understood by other people, so I just really keep it to myself. And and I know that I am not really a little bit different from the others. But I don't want to say the word different, but that's how some of my classmates who have also been a
Yes.
Reiki practitioner now describe me. Because when all of them are still in crushes and crushes, I am in the world. Yeah, how to change the world. So yeah, I grew up with this. So I don't know how it is to really be not with this kind of thing. Yeah.
And what led you to finally go to the path of healing?
When I was 12 years old, I was already laying my hand to my mother, who was then dying with cancer. Uh, She eventually died when I was 13. No? But I was already laying my hands. She will call me, and then she will ask me to lay my hands on her tummy. So that's how I did it. And then um, I was already like 26 years old, and I was really searching because I would like to have a name for what I'm doing. I'm not I'm not against any albulario, but I don't want to be called myself albulario. so so I was really praying to God, and I said, God, please give me the name of what I'm doing. So I also started to attend different psychic courses of Jimmy Licauco, like that, to really understand what I was having or I'm doing before. And it really did help me. And then in 2003, I said, I really need to find a name for what I'm doing. And I prayed again to God. And then I have a group called Ecofeminism, and there was a member there who said that she does Reiki. And when I look into the meaning or description of Reiki, and I said to myself, oh my gosh, that's what I'm doing. I would like to have that name to what I'm doing. And then one of the students who attended our psychic course said that there was somebody in the Philippines who was really teaching it. So I inquired in 2003, and but I'm not really so um, much into the monetary aspect yet during those times. And I said to myself, why is it so expensive to really study this? So does it mean that I have to really also charge this way and whatever? So I said to God, God, if Reiki is really for me, can you please do something about the payment? And can you please send me my teacher? In 2004, the same teacher called me and said that somebody is giving a scholarship for Reiki. I just really need to take my patients or clients in for a certain number, and that's it. And I'm going to study Reiki. So I studied my Reiki under Reiki Master Joby Lozano. Yeah.
Right.
And then that was 2004. And I also did the Reiki level 2, and then to a different teacher. And then in 2006, I said to myself, I want to teach. I want to teach. I want to create manuals, because during those times we didn't have any. So I just really want to create manuals. And I said to God, God, if you really want me to be a Reiki teacher, can you please send me my teacher, and also do something about the fees? Because the fees is really high for a Reiki master. And I said to myself, if that is really so high, that means I cannot really teach it to a taxi driver. I cannot teach it to somebody who cannot really even pay. So I need to experience something so that I can also give it for free. And then by that November, and I also said to God, can you please send my teacher in November or December? So, and then by November, I met somebody who brought me to their house, and I did a Reiki healing to the parent. And this couple told me, what level are you? And then I said, Reiki level 2. Don't you want to be a Reiki master? I said, I want. So because we are Reiki masters from London, and I really think that we cannot really teach here in the Philippines because we are already old, we would like to have somebody to attune, and then hopefully you can do the work for us. So, and that was in 2006, and then in 2007, I said to them, oh, please attune me for the Reiki Master in 2007. So that will be 3 years of Reiki practice. So in 2007, I got my certificate, a Reiki Master. And the next question is, will I be a full-time or not? So because that is interfering, the Reiki work is already interfering my work before. I used to work in an acupuncture institution. We teach acupuncture, and we have a clinic for that. So, and then in June, I said to God, God, I'm going to resign from my work. And then please fill up my schedule, because if you're not going to fill up my schedule, I will go back again because I have nothing to do. So in June 2007, since then and up to now, my schedule has been filled up. And I was unable to go back to my work. And this is like from Reiki, it branches out to different work. From Reiki, I was led to the earth work. That's where the Feng Shui comes, no? And then from earth work, I was led to the angel work. So those are the 3 areas that I'm working. So the Reiki, which is really for the awakening of the individuals into meditation and healing themselves into spiritual practice. The earth work, which is the Feng Shui, is healing the earth. And then the angels is having all the angels work with us because they are just here. So that's my work.
Thank you very much for sharing to us. And what I've learned from this so far, your story is very amazing and inspiring. And it's first that you started at an early age. And I know like I know a number of people who does start at an early age but doesn't really know what to do because they're being programmed like, oh, you should do this like in this kind of work, don't do this kind of work. And I've experienced that myself. I experienced healing when I was young, but then I was like being pushed towards medicine. What's inspiring from your story is that even though there are challenges, like how I see one of the challenges is the money, no, to pay for the fees for the training, and I will go to that in a bit. But your story encourages like a lot of people to ask and find a way to be able to do their path, like what you said, that you just ask and this higher guidance provided you with opportunities, with people, with money, and that's very encouraging for all those who want to take this spiritual path. And also, what I've learned, so there is this topic about like before the albalarios in the Philippines, example, we're supposed, like most of the people would say, oh, you should do this service for free because because this gift is given for you to you for free. And your story is one example that yes, you have the ability, but you have to hone it. You have to like undergo training for it, and that involves also resources as well. And to keep doing what you do, you also have this flow of energy coming to you in the form of energy exchange. Why energy exchange is also important in this healing work, because it the healer like you're doing a lot of healing for a lot of people and the earth, and connecting with them with the heavenly forces, aligning them with the heavenly force. To continue doing it, you have to have the resources. So thank you for that. Were there any other like obstacles and challenges during like when you were in this path? Because I've seen that you didn't stop only from Reiki. You went to acupuncture, you went to Reiki, and then you went to Feng Shui, and now it's like there seems to be like an evolving path ahead.
Yeah. First is when I told myself I'm going to be a full-time Reiki practitioner. One is a challenge for you to trust God. Because, during that time in 2007, I was the breadwinner in the family. And I was telling myself, how can I send my children to school and how can we live? And then what came to me is you just really have to trust God, that God will provide. And that's what I did. So I told myself, God is my employer. So I put all my budget every month. I put it on the paper and I put it in the altar and I said, God, this is my budget for the month. Please help me provide for this. And that's it. So I was able to really let go and let God take care of all the resources that are coming to me. And I always say to myself, I own nothing. Everything that comes to me is also given to what my responsibilities are. And it's just a flow because it's an abundance, it keeps on coming, it flows through you. All the people who give the fair energy exchange to me are also the channels of money coming from God. So I bless all the resources that come to me. I put it in the altar before I use it, and I bless it. I ask God to get rid of all the negativity coming from the use of money. And may I use it for the fullness and prosperity of life. So that's one. The second a challenge that I have is all through my practice is during the time when I was not really in a very good relationship, in a way that as a healer, I should really be at peace, no? But during that time, I was really in a challenge of really thinking, should I stay in this relationship or should I follow the path of spirituality or spiritual healing? So if I follow the spiritual path of what I'm doing during that time and up to now, I should get rid of anything that can block me. So I have to leave that relationship. And God is so good because after leaving the relationship, I found a person who is really be my spiritual partner. And I asked God also for that. Every details of the person, if God is willing to give me a spiritual partner, may this be a person like this. So I wrote it to God and God gave it to me. So I'm now married to my spiritual partner.
Wow. That's
So,
your story, Miss Isa, just gives me goosebumps in so many levels. Because I'm that there is like a lot of spiritual practitioners right now, and those who are learning to be healers, facilitators. Those are the very two things that are, the obstacles and challenges that are facing with the resources. And thank you, by the way, by sharing your secret. And we'll start doing that. But yeah, this is a very trust in God for the resources, because if it's meant for you, that it's meant for you, and to be not attached to it, because it is indeed a flow, and if other people are channels of blessing, you are also a channel of blessing to others. And so thank you for that. And yeah, and also the second one about relationships, it's very, very hard to detach. I mean, that's the hardest part, to detach from relationships that does not serve you anymore in a spiritual level. And so like that is very inspiring for most of the people who are awakening right now, because that's what usually is happening to most people who are awakening. All their relationships are falling apart, and all their ways of living are falling apart as well. So what is the message that you can give to those who maybe, have this feeling that they are meant for healing, or they're meant to be healed, or meant to heal as well others? What are your messages for them who are just like dawning on their process of realizing that path?
yeah. First is you have to know yourself. I mean, you have to accept that there's something within us that really needs to be healed. And then when we already know that there's something within us that really needs to be healed, we have to seek help. And seeking help is external and internal. The internal is your asking God. That's the first one. And the second, through the guidance of God, then may you be led to the right person who can heal you. And may you be led to the right path that you can also help yourself. So healers are just like a channel. The real healing is within us. So go and trust God. That's the first thing that we really have to do. Trust that everything will take into its place. Trust and then act. Trust and courage go together. So you should really, when you have the trust, then you will have the courage, and then act on it. Acting on it, you should be open whether the process is painful or not. But when you know that the process it is just a process, you will never really say if it is painful or not. You will just accept that it is the process. And when you accept that it is the process, the healing comes easily, without judgment. Yeah.
Wow.
That's all.
Yeah, that's a very, very heartfelt. I feel it in my heart. You know,
Mm.
the message of trust and courage, and it goes together with acting on it, because most there are people who just trust and just wait for things to happen. And there's people who do something about it with the trust in their heart and the courage in their heart. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
thank you, Miss Isa. Can you share to us how um, they people who might be viewing this, who are touched by you as I am touched, and who recognize um, that they need to be working with you and have that desire to work with you, can you tell us how they can contact you, or how can they connect with you?
Yeah. My work is really leading oneself or people to really find their true self. So if you want to really find your true self, which is the grace of our life here on earth, you can go to my website. It's called www.cosmichealer.net, or you can message or call me at 0977 706 0661. Yeah, so my email is also there in the cosmichealer.net, so they can message me there.
And thank you, Miss Isa. What can you share to all the viewers now that can help us open to that grace that you are sharing to the world?
Yeah. What we can do is like an inner connection meditation. Yeah. We can call this in many forms, but in Reiki, we call this the Gasho meditation. But we'll just name it like an inner connection. So I would like you to join me. So you can put your hands into a praying position. This praying position is a very universal position. All the religions have this position, and this means the two opposites coming together, the heaven with our all the fingers pointed upward to heaven and with the palm downward. So this is the connection of the heaven and the earth. And when it rested on our heart, so this is a connection to our heart, where our soul also resides. So let us put our hands in the praying position and let us slowly close our eyes. Feeling our breath. Our breath is a gift from the divine God. Feeling our hands. Our hands symbolizes our unity and oneness with God and with all that surrounds us. For a couple of minutes, let us just feel our breath and our connection to the divine God. In silence, we just feel the unity or oneness. Just think of the divine God and that we are also a divine creation. You may also say in your mind, I am a divine creation. wherever we are in this moment of silence, just affirm that we are a divine creation. Allow any feeling to expand. And now slowly let us go back. Go back to the feeling of our body, of our hands, and of our breath. Taking this thought with us as we open our eyes. I am a divine creation. Now at the count of 3 to 1, let us slowly open our eyes, remembering I am a divine creation. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Slowly open our eyes.
Thank you very much, Peter.
Thank you.
My experience with that is I feel as I affirm that I am a divine creation, like my energy just expands, expands and connects to everything. That's the feeling. So thank you very much for sharing your
Thank you.
For sharing your work, and I pray to bless your mission more, and hopefully the people that are listening this video will be able to recognize you as their teacher and their guide in their process. And thank you very much. I feel so much grateful, and thank you to the universe and to the spirits who brought
Thank you. Can I say something more?
Yes, well.
This month is an angel month. So the 28, 29 are really the day for our archangels. For the 4 archangels. So we have the Archangel Michael, Gabriel, Uriel, and Raphael. So let us remember that we have angels around. Yeah. That we can call on.
How can we more get connected with angels when we do our healing work, spiritual work?
A thought, just a simple thought that they are present. With that thought, you can already feel their presence because they're just around us. All you need to do is to recognize that they are here around us.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Your support goes a long way. Liking and sharing this video will enable us to continue doing our work in featuring awakened souls with an important message and work on this earth. By the act of sharing this video,